I'm Deputy Chief Constable Richard Lewis of South Wales Police. I'm here to speak about our use of facial recognition and the handing down this morning of the judgment of the judicial review. This judicial review process has allowed the court to scrutinise decisions made by ourselves in relation to the way we use and deploy facial recognition technology. We welcome the review and are pleased that the court has ruled in our favour that our use of facial recognition is balanced, proportionate, and that we have a clear and lawful framework governing when and how we use the technology. There have been a number of various claims that the technology is untargeted and speculative. I would say that this is totally incorrect. On each deployment we create a unique watch list which is targeted not only for that deployment but only includes people who need to be on there for a good reason, because they're suspected of a crime or because they've got a warrant issued by the court. Our rosters only include those who are wanted by South Wales Police for offences committed within our communities, or as I said, a warrant issued by a court for their arrest. There's been quite a bit of misleading and incorrect commentary that the technology retains biometric data of those walking by and who are absolutely innocent. I can give my reassurance that the system does not retain either facial biometrics or images of the faces that are scanned. Both are immediately and automatically deleted. The data is not available to the system operator or any other police officer. In fact, the only data that is retained is the CCTV imagery, which is retained for a standard 31 days, which is the industry standard right across the UK. In fact, any data associated with a match from the watch list is only retained for up to 24 hours. The court was very positive about the fact that we use police officers and other staff to ensure that any image which is positively identified is first checked before any intervention is made by a police officer around our deployments. And in fact, on all our deployments, very many where we've never had a false arrest. Another concern with the technology that is indirectly discriminates on grounds of sex and of race. Firstly, I would like to say and to clarify that there's no firm evidence that the software we use produces such results, and that suggests any indirect discrimination. And the court found that we demonstrated due regard to the Equality Act of 2010. However, and we have taken due consideration in relation to the information that has been put into the press, and we are going to engage with an academic institution to explore whether or not any discrimination or gender imbalance may exist in the algorithm we use. South Wales Police, and we have always been very cognizant of the concerns surrounding privacy, and I understand and we understand that as the police we must be accountable and subject to the highest levels of scrutiny to ensure that we work within the law. We have always and will continue to be proportionate, transparent and lawful in our use of facial recognition, and this has been borne out with the court's conclusion today. We feel that the current legal regime is adequate and we will continue to use it appropriately and lawfully in line with any of the court's recommendations. Throughout the course of the trial, we have worked with many stakeholders, including the Surveillance Camera Commissioner, the Information Commissioner and many other people who have visited and seen the deployments that we've had. Over the period of 2 years since we've been using it first, we have made 37 different deployments at events and locations around South Wales and made 58 arrests. And it's really important to say that none of those arrests was unlawful and nobody challenged the identification as it stood from the technology. Whilst the judicial review process focused mainly on the locate element of our use of facial recognition, i.e. the live deployment of vans with cameras, there is another aspect to the technology which we have found incredibly useful in preventing and detecting crime in South Wales. And that's what we call the identify aspect of facial recognition. And that's where digital images from the scenes of crime can be fed into a computer in the back office and identify people who may have been found to be at the scene at the time that that crime was committed. Over the last 2 years of using Identify, we have had over 7,800 images sent to our team from the scenes of crime. And from those 7,800 images, we've been able to identify 1,700 potential offenders. And of those 1,700 offenders, we've been able to action an investigation in 70% of cases. So what you'll see is us being able to bring to justice people who have committed crimes within the community using this very strong and powerful technology. In all those cases, nobody challenged us on the identification of them at the scene, which is a very important point that's worth making. This has been an important indication of how facial recognition can support and help us in our fight against crime and bringing those who should be brought to justice to justice. We will of course take full cognizance of the court's findings today and any recommendations that it suggests in the future use of the technology here in South Wales. Thank you.